You're listening to Hawk Talk with former Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Play fake, going to roll right, dumps it off into the right flat to Michael Bumpus, who bounces off of one tackler, gets inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line.
Powered by Seahawks.com.
Matt pump fakes, looking to the goal line. He throws it into the end zone. Touchdown Seahawks! It's Michael Bumpus with a diving catch in the end zone. A 10-yard touchdown reception for Bumpus, and the kid out of Washington State has found himself a place on this team.
Now, here's your host, Nasser Kyobe.
Welcome into another edition of Hawk Talk. I'm your host, Nasser Kyobe, here with the great Michael Bumpus, repping the Pac-2 hat as he does.
Gotta do it. Go Cougs. All right, I'm done.
You know, I was going to give you a shout out just to start the show, just to get
Okay.
out the way.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
Congratulations, all the Husky fans out there. That was tough, but
We got love for y'all, man.
turn the page.
They really think I hate y'all. I don't hate y'all. I got love for you. So
Okay.
It's all good.
Okay, Pac. Okay. See how it is. Anyway, the Seahawks coming off a big win against the Patriots on the road, 2-0 on the season. We're getting ready for the Miami Dolphins coming into town. What's on tap?
What's on tap?
Bump, these Miami Dolphins are 1-1, tied for second place in the AFC East. They won their opening game 16-10 over the Jacksonville Jaguars, lost 31-10 to the Buffalo Bills last week, and head coach Mike McDaniel, in his third year as Dolphins head coach, definitely known as an offensive guru for the time he spent with Sean McVay and the Shanahan tree. Been credited for getting the Dolphins kind of back to the promised land in the sense of back to relevance, I should say, not promised land. Each of his first two seasons, taking them to the playoffs and getting the best out of quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Expectations coming into this year were pretty big. Bump, obviously, as we know, that took a huge hit when Tua got the concussion in their game against Buffalo on last Thursday night.
Man, that was tough. Tua was at number 4 in the last, 2 seasons or something like that?
A lot, yeah.
You hate to see it, man, but you know playing this game, that's part of it, right? I've had concussions. I've been 3 that's been, documented, but I probably had, 5 or 6, because back in our day, it was like, oh, you got your bell rung, get back up, get back in there.
Right.
But you have to take these seriously, man. So now we're just waiting to see what his future is. He says he's not retiring. He has to talk to his people. I don't know if he's married or not, but I'm sure his mom, his dad, his loved ones. I just hope that man is okay. But it does give us an advantage that he's not playing this week.
Yeah, no, it's a really hard thing to see. You never want to see anyone deal with concussions, anything like that. So Mike McDaniel talked about it in me this week. He's going to let Tua talk for Tua and support him, and I feel like they're handling it the right way. It's tough to see. But in that game, it was, before the Tua injury, it wasn't a close game, Bump. So taking you back to last Thursday, as the Bills taking on the Dolphins, and I didn't know how lopsided this rivalry was, because they're division rivals, but the Bills were 11-1
Goodness
in their
gracious.
last 12 going into that last
Dolphins
Thursday.
are too good the last 2 or 3 years, man.
You would think so, and that includes a playoff loss in there too. But it just wasn't great, man. It started off, interception early on. Dolphins would answer with one long touchdown to tie the game, but after that, turnovers destroyed the game. Bills had no turnovers. Dolphins had 3 turnovers. Didn't matter. Dolphins actually dominated time possession, but it didn't matter. Josh Allen, okay day, 13 of 19, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. But again, I told you it was about turnovers.
Yep.
Devon Achane, who we're going to talk about later, was the lone bright spot in that game with 165 total yards, 96 rushing, 69 receiving. And Tua was having a tough day before the injury. He was 17 of 25, 145 yards, 1 touchdown, but 3 interceptions. And, things went bad to worse as Tua got hit, colliding with DeMar Hamlin. Again, it was tough to see him go down like that. Timetable for his return is unknown. He is on IR, so that's kind of how it ended up. But the thing for the Dolphins, they're well rested. They played on a Thursday night. Now they're coming across the country to Seattle. Definitely easier for teams on the East Coast coming back out west, in my opinion. So they're getting some time back. But Bump, looking at these two teams, Seahawks obviously undefeated. Dolphins have 1 loss. What are your takeaways from the head-to-head? As we know, it's only been 2 weeks.
All right, we got 2 weeks of data, though. Last time it was 1 week of data.
Okay.
Before that, it was just speculation. I don't know. Let's see what's going down. Now we got some ideas of what's going on. Now, the Dolphins are 8th overall when it comes to offense. We expect some of these numbers to take a hit because Tua's not in the game, right? 20th when it comes to rushing, 1st in pass offense, and then 15th when it comes to scoring points. Let's look over to the Hawks. They are 13th overall. They are 23rd running the rock, 6th passing that thing, and 9th when it comes to points. Defensively, on paper, you got 2 pretty good defenses going at it. The Hawks 6th overall, the Dolphins 4th. When it comes to stopping the run, the Hawks are 21st. big hit last week with 185 on the ground. So that number, take it for what it's worth. And then the Dolphins are 15th, allowing 118. Pass defense.
Let's go. Yes.
Come on now. Hawks are second in the league, allowing 128 through the air. And then the Dolphins are fifth, allowing 139 scoring points. The Hawks are putting up 20 a game. That's 12th. And the Dolphins putting up 24 a game. That is 23rd. 2 interceptions taken away by the Seahawks. The Dolphins don't have any yet. You got Jalen Ramsey and a good secondary over there. Let's hope they don't get started this week. But on paper, again, another evenly matched team. When you dive a little deeper, Tua's not going to be in the game. We're waiting to see who's going to be healthy on that offensive line for the Hawks and then in the backfield as well. We'll know about 90 minutes before the game. We'll get that from Jen Mueller. She'll let us know. But on paper, let's get it. But this is the NFL. On paper, it might not look like a close game, but it could be. But this one looks like it's going to be a close game, and I anticipate it being closer than what people think just because of Skyler Thompson filling in for Tua.
Yeah, we're going to get into all the matchups and man up because the Dolphins have a lot of talented players on that offense and that defense. So some of these numbers might equate the entire story. You talked about it. Seahawks run defense really took a hit. They fall to 21st. Anytime you give up 185 yards rushing, that's going to happen. So definitely looking for the Seahawks to improve on that, but second in pass defense. What are the kids doing now?
Come on now,
right here,
hey, straps,
or it's the box. And I got you,
I saw one kid pull up his shirt like he had the strap on him from Memphis, and I go, that might be a flag, young man.
Should be a flag. That's too much.
A little too much.
Hey, easy.
But the first one, he got away with it. That was the first one.
Easy. Okay. All right, let's get into this history between the Seahawks and the Dolphins. Know the history.
Know your history.
Dolphins lead the all-time series 10-6. They're 5-8 in the regular season and 1-2 in the postseason. However, the Hawks have won the last 2 regular season games. The last matchup they had was, again, during the infamous COVID season back in 2020. That's the last time the Seahawks played the AFC East. That's why we're going to see this 4 times this season. Hawks went down to Miami, and it was a good result for the Hawks, 31-23 victory. Russell Wilson had a big day, going 24 for 34, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. DK Metcalf led all receivers with 4 receptions, 106 yards, and Chris Carson, man, I miss Chris. Strong down the ground, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hawks led the entire way and had back-to-back touchdowns in the fourth quarter, led by Demo Swag, David Moore.
Let's go, Demo.
Chris Carson. Bobby Wags led all defenders with 12 tackles. And on the other side, Ryan Fitzpatrick was starting for the Dolphins. He went 29-45, 315, 0 touchdowns. And I have a typo on here. It says 32 interceptions.
That'd be amazing.
I believe it was 2.
You know who had one? Our guy, Ryan Neal. Big ups, Ryan Neal. That's when he got the start, right? Jamal went down, I believe. Then he got the start.
Yep. It was right after that Cowboys game. Yeah. That's a good memory. Good check, Bump. Good check, Bump.
CT, it fades away sometimes.
Hey, you'll be all right. But let's check in what's going on in the NFC West. What's the word?
Where my soldiers at? West side! Where my soldiers at? West side! And the Seahawks are the NFC West champs again.
What's the word in the West? On Hawk Talk.
Hey, I'm the captain now. Seahawks on top. That's what they're saying to everybody else in the division, man. They're 2-0. Cardinals are 1-1. 49ers 1-1. And the Rams are a surprising 0-2, man. They're getting hit with injuries left and right. The Seahawks head into week 3 sitting all alone, like I said, in first place in the West. And it's only been 2 weeks, but it's glad that these guys are taking advantage of a situation that's going down in the West. So let's focus on one game, the Rams and the Cardinals. Once again, the Cardinals played in one of the more surprising games of the weekend. I wasn't ready for this, man. The Cardinals, they might be a problem this year, man. They're looking pretty good. They beat the Rams 41-10. They snapped a 9-game losing streak to the Rams at State Farm Stadium. I'm watching this game. I'm not watching. I'm keeping track of it because we're working on Sundays. And I see the score go up, and it keeps going up, and it keeps going up. And then I see the numbers from the young man, Marvin Harrison. First quarter. He did all his damage in the first quarter.
Yeah.
A $130 and a touchdown or 2 in the first quarter. And it scared me a little bit because it feels like there's a shift going on in the division. Now, I think the 49ers are going to be okay. I think the Rams have been hit with a whole bunch of injuries. But the team that people expected or counted on finishing 4th in the division are saying, look, man, we look a bit more different now, man. James Conner had himself a big day. He had 21 carries for 122 and a touchdown. Matthew Stafford, it was an all right day, right? Didn't produce any touchdowns, but it was 19-27 for 216, 0 touchdowns. He was sacked 5 times. Now, we know Puka Nacua is out of this thing.
Right.
Situation's worse. The one time I looked up and watched a play in that game, it was Cooper Kupp catching this like 30-plus yard reception, getting busy afterwards. Then I watched him go to the huddle in his face. I go, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And something wasn't right, man. He had an ankle injury and did not return. The Cardinals, they look potent on offense, decent on defense. We know the Rams were banged up, but a 41-10 win, you can't sleep on.
No, you're putting up 41 points, and we knew how talented Kyler Murray is. We always have known that. Now, just seeing what to get the best out of him. I know there's a lot of jokes made around Jonathan Gannon, their coach last year. He stepped into a difficult situation, right?
He did.
Kind of clean up what happened during the Kingsbury era. And right now, they got talent, and you add Marvin Harrison, that's scary. He's going to be a problem moving forward, so it's something to watch.
They got a number 2 over there, too, Michael Wilson, man.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah,
they look all right.
They are good. All right, let's get into the next matchup. The Seahawks, more good news for them. The 49ers go down to Minnesota and take an L. Now, your guy on, if you listen to the Bumpus and Stacey show.
Sam Darnold. I've been trying to tell y'all. Sam Darnold. Give this man some talent, man. Come on.
Hey, I mean, look, the first week when they beat the Giants, you're thinking, okay, well.
Hey, it's cool.
Yeah, but to beat the 49ers, that's saying something. Your old team. And if you look at the box score, you think the 49ers won this game because I started looking through it. I'm like, okay, they had more first downs, 24-17. One-time possession by like 10 full minutes. Brock Purdy had a solid day statistically, 28 of 36, 319, 1 tud, 1 interception. Jordan Mason, who's filling in really well.
Back-to-back 100-yard games?
Yeah.
Come on.
100 yards, 20 carries, 1 touchdown. Debo Samuel, 8 receptions, 110. You start seeing those numbers and you go, okay, they probably won this game. But 49ers shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again. They had a blocked punt, which led to 3 points. Then they got stopped on 4th and goal from the 2-yard line after an 88-yard drive. Then Brock Purdy threw a pick on his own 13-yard line. Vikings scored the next play. And then finally down 9 with 1:57 left in the game. Okay, maybe get a touchdown, get an onside kick, kick a field goal. Brock tries to hit Debo Samuel, a little dump off. It almost gets picked off. He gets hit for a 9-yard loss. They kick the field goal. They end up not getting the onside kick, and they lose the game. On the other side, Justin Jefferson, cool little 97-yard touchdown.
Easy work.
Oh, did you see the ref on that play?
Burners.
Oh, my goodness.
Not only did the ref keep up with him, he started and stopped and accelerated and stayed with him. We need to sign. We need this ref's name. Give me some information.
I need to look it up. Moving his hips and stuff. I mean, it was textbook, bro. Shout out to that man right there. But for Darnold, he was 17 of 26, 268, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And just like the Rams, Niners are getting hit with the injury bug as well. To make matters worse, 49ers can be without Debo Samuel for the next couple weeks as he suffered a calf strain in the final minutes of that game. McCaffrey's already on the IR. So the division's a little banged up, Bump. 49ers are going to LA, I should say, this weekend. So either the Rams are going to be 0-3, or the Niners are going to be 1-2.
I think the Rams are going to be 0-3.
I also think that.
I really do. It's probably better if the Niners were to lose this one.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the Rams will be 0-3.
Either way, the Seahawks, if they take care of business, will be 3-0 again, all alone in the NFC West. So definitely looking up. But the team the Seahawks are playing is the Miami Dolphins. Let's get into these specific matchups with Man Up.
Hey, who mans is this? Who mans is this? Man up now, man up, man up, brother. Man up, no, bro.
Man Up on Hawk Talk.
All right, man, we opened up the podcast talking about this, man. The big story is Tua going down. And Mike McDonald said, look.
McDaniel.
Oh, man, my bad,
It's going to mess us up all week.
My bad, McDonald. Mike McDaniel said on Monday, Tua was in the building. He was smiling with his teammates, but it's too early to make a statement regarding the timetable when he's going to be back. He's been placed on the IR. So we shall see. Just get better. That's the focus with Tua.
Right.
Forget who he plays for, what school he went to. He's a human being, and let's hope that he gets better soon, man. So with that being said, you got to turn to the young man, Skyler Thompson, man. This is his 3rd season in the NFL. He was a 7th-round pick out of Kansas State, number 247 overall. His college stats, man, he was doing his thing.
Yeah.
552 for 885, 7,134 yards, 42 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. This is a stat that surprised me. I didn't know he was getting busy like this.
Yeah.
355 carries for over 1,000 yards and 26 touchdowns. He has 3 starts in the NFL, including a playoff game against the Bills in the wild card round of the 2022 playoffs. All right, his stats in 3 career starts in 2022. All right, he goes 7 for 13, 89 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. That was against Minnesota. That was a loss. A win against the Jets, 20 of 31 for 152, no touchdown, no interceptions. A loss to Buffalo, 18 of 45. They forced him to throw it, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I mean, look, 3 starts in the league, not much to go off of, right? He was a 7th-round pick. I know everyone's looking for Brock Purdy. You can't expect much out of him, but you can't allow him to get confident and get into a groove. Right. He does have weapons, and we're going to talk about these weapons. He's got weapons on the outside. He's got weapons in the backfield. It's all about just making life difficult for this guy, man. Get after him, show him different looks, mix up your stunts, mess with your coverage. He has to use all his information as a quarterback to defeat you. Don't sleep on nobody, because we know what it's like for backups at Lumen Field for some reason.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's over now.
Yeah, please.
I'm hoping with Coach McDonald coming in and shutting that down with his defense. But no, don't sleep on Skyler because of the weapons he has. And everything we've heard out of Dolphins camp is that he earned a lot of respect from that staff. He went out there and won the number 2 job this year because he was the number 3 in that 2022 season and got flushed into duty. But now he's kind of earned it in that sense of Coach McDaniel and all them. So we'll see. But to your point, it's not someone you hope that's going off against the Seahawks. Right. He's someone that you got to make look like someone who's only started 3 games. Now, let's flip it over to our quarterback, Geno Smith, and boy, bump, did he ball out last week. Come on, Geno. 33 for 44, 327 yards, 1 touchdown, completed 75% of his passes, even though Seattle had 5 drops.
He would have been around 85%.
Yes,
catch those footballs.
Insane. And he also had 33 completions, which was a career high for Geno. Passed Rick Meyer on 5th place for the all-time passing completion list with 842. Also passed Rick Meyer for 5th place on Seattle's all-time passing yards list with 9,139. Leads the NFL in game-winning drives since 2022 with 9. So Geno through 2 weeks is balling out. Passing yards in the NFL, he ranks 6th. Completion percentage, he ranks 4th. QBR 4th. QB rating 7th. And that's just through 2 weeks, I know. But, his performance got him nominated. He didn't win for FedEx Air Ground Player of the Week. But I'm just seeing a lot of good stuff out of Geno. And, he just seems like he's so confident. We kind of saw this at the beginning of 2022. But if he has time, he's going to find the guy. He was throwing dots all over the field, whoever he was finding. Sorry, I just hit something. Made my ears go all quiet for a second. I was like, what just happened? No, Geno's been crushing the game, and I'm really happy to see it. I think Ryan Grubb deserves some credit for the offense, but Geno's been around the game, and he's executing, right? You can only do so much. Ryan Grubb's not throwing the ball. He's not in the huddle, but both of them together, this can be a dangerous combo for the rest of the NFC.
What I love about this combo is that Grubb is giving Geno time. They're breaking the huddle with 15 seconds left on the play clock. They're getting to the line of scrimmage. You're allowing your motions to happen. Geno's looking at the defense. He was already on point last year, and it seemed like every play was rushed. This year, he's got ample time.
Right.
Grubb's on point. He's on point, and he's looking like the Pro Bowler we saw a couple seasons ago. So keep up the good work, Geno. All right, let's talk about another matchup. We got Raheem Mostert and Devontae Achane against the Seahawks front 7. This is going to be a good one, man. The Dolphins, they got 2 talented running backs in the backfield, the guys I just mentioned. Seahawks fans should be pretty familiar with Mostert. He spent 6 seasons with the 49ers and was balling. He's been in the league 9-10 years now.
Yeah,
quiet 9-10. Yeah, he's been doing his thing, man. And he's been good under Mike McDaniel at Miami, too. In 2023, he had 1,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 25 receptions for 175 and 3 touchdowns, and earned him his first Pro Bowl now, so good for him. The other running back, Achane, he was a 3rd-round pick out of Texas A&M, and he's part of that 1-2 punch. Last year, he had 800 yards, 8 touchdowns, 27 receptions for 197 and 3 touchdowns. He's been pushed into a bigger role this year, right? And I think I look at that backfield, and that's what the NFL is going to be. It used to be just you got one horse that you ran every single down, and maybe you sprinkled in another back. This is what the NFL is now. You got a legit 1-2 combo. The Hawks got one here when they're healthy, and Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. You look all across the league. This is what you're getting. So, Achane had a few bright spots against Buffalo last week. He combined for 165 yards. This is with Mostert being out. 96 rushing, 69 receiving, and 1 touchdown. So we're waiting to see what Mostert is going to look like on Sunday, if he's going to be available. If he is available, I know this offensive line and Mike McDaniel are looking at the last game and saying, let's do a little bit of what New England did. So this front, they got some work to do. But I think when they're healthy and when they're just getting downhill and keeping linebackers clean, they got a shot.
The cool thing, too, is it's the home game. It's not at 10 a.m. It's back at home. So the 12s are going to be behind this defense. And now I have a quarterback who's making his 4th career start in the NFL. So I think we're going to get a steady dose of Achane and Mostert if he is playing. So it'll be an interesting matchup to watch moving forward. Talking about weapons for Mr. Thompson.
Man.
I mean, I'm biased because I think the two best receivers in the league, whatever tandem you want to split it, if it's DK and JSN, JSN, DK, Tyler Lockett, JSN, whatever combo, there's a lot of them you can do. I'm not a math major, but there's some combos in there. Some of those three. But if I'm objectively looking outside of the Seahawks, Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle, man.
Yep.
If for the two of them, they're probably the best in the league. Tyreek Hill already passed the 10,000-yard mark for career receiving yards and is coming off the best season of his career. He led the league in receiving yards, touchdowns, and yards per game last year. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler, been a first-team All-Pro 5
Goodness
times,
gracious.
including the last 2 seasons.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah, and yes, he played with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
But, man, him and the resurrection of Tua, big part of the guys he's thrown to.
Yeah.
And he's one of them. And you look at so far this year, he's got 10 receptions, 154 yards, 1 touchdown. I mentioned last year he had 119 receptions.
That's crazy.
1,799 yards, 13 touchdowns.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
So I would love to throw Tyreek Hill the football. So he's obviously amazing on paper. And then on the other side, it's not like the other dude's some kind of scrub. He is a Pro Bowl type player, Jaylen Waddle, former first-round pick, 6 overall out of the University of Alabama. And he's had a great start to his career. 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, led the NFL in yards per reception in 2022 at 18. And last year, 72 receptions, 1,014 yards, and 4 touchdowns. 2 games this year, been a little quieter, 9 receptions, 150 yards, 0 touchdowns on 9 targets. So the Seahawks are going to get their first real test in terms of the secondary. We know how good our secondary is with Witherspoon and Reek Woolen and Jenkins and Julian Love and Kayvon Wallace and everyone there. Kobe Bryant was going to get a shot, all these different people. But this is the first time they're facing a tandem with this kind of burner speed, this kind of talent to route you up all up and down the football field. And the Seahawks defense have been clamping guys up, allowing the second best passing defense in the National Football League. But this is going to be a fun test to watch this week.
Yeah, like no disrespect to the Broncos wide receiver core. Ain't no Pro Bowlers over there.
Right.
In New England, I think maybe there were 3 receptions outside of the tight ends last week.
All game.
Yeah, all game. Hunter, salute to you, Mr. Tight End for the New England Patriots. Did your thing. This is a different kind of challenge, man. So Reek's going to have to depend on that speed that he has, that technique that he's developed over the past 2.5 seasons.
Right.
And Spoon just has to go out there and be Spoon and those safeties fly around. This is the chess match that I want to see. You got the young gun and Mike McDaniel, the offensive coordinator. You got the young guy when it comes to NFL experience, but, Uncle over there and Grubb trying to bring his offense to the table and just see how these guys go back and forth. You sprinkle in the defense. It should be a good one. Speaking of offense, let's talk about our receivers. You got DK, you got Lockett, and JSM. Last week, DK did his thing. 10 receptions, 129, and 1 touchdown on 14 targets. He passed Tyler Lockett and Darrell Jackson for the most receptions in a player's first 6 seasons with 385. He also passed Darrell Jackson for second place in the franchise history for most yards in the player's first 6 seasons with 5,490. Last week, JSN had the game of his career. Now, that's if you don't count the game winner against Philly or the game winner against Cleveland. Those were clutch plays, but overall, he had a career day, 12 receptions, career high, 117 yards, career high, and that was on 16 targets, man. DK and JSN accounted for 30 of the 44 targets last week. And then don't sleep on Tyler Lockett, though. On the stat sheet, is going to say, he had two targets. No, I really had 4. Because 2 of them things were pass interferences, and they were big, and they were clutch. Then he had 1 big catch towards the end of the year where he put the little okey doke on him, got out of bounds. And the thing about Tyler Lockett is I don't think he's worried about his targets. He goes, whenever you need me, I got you. If those 2 young guns want to go get that money, go get it, because when it's clutch time, you are going to look at number 16. Now, secondary, Jalen Ramsey is one of the best corners in the game. Just got paid for a reason. DK, Tyler, they're going to see him. This is the first time JSN is going to see Jalen Ramsey, but I feel like he's going to be in the slot a bit more, so he ain't going to see him too much.
Well, it'll be interesting, too, because DK and Jalen Ramsey are very familiar with each other.
This is like a UFC main event coming up on Sunday.
The main event of the evening, fighting.
Exactly. They need to put a graphic up. You know what, NFL? I'm not going to say the station because I don't know who he affiliated with. But NFL, go ahead and take my guy Nass's idea and use that graphic. Jalen Ramsey, right? His first season in Miami, he played in 10 games. He had 22 tackles, 3 interceptions, 5 passes defended. Despite playing in just 10 games, he was still voted to the Pro Bowl because everybody knows what's up with him. He was previously an All-Pro corner in 2020 and 2021. On the other side of Ramsey, you got another veteran. You got Kendall Fuller. Last season, he had 79 tackles, 2 interceptions, 9 passes defended, in 2 TFLs. At safety, the Dolphins have a 12-year veteran. Jordan Poyer has been in the league 12 years.
I was shocked by that because I remember him all his time in Buffalo,
Yeah.
but 12 is a long damn time.
I would have said like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Man. All right. I see you, man. Keep doing your thing, man. He was a first-time All-Pro guy in 2021, Pro Bowler in 2022. Poyer had 100 tackles, 2 TFLs, 2 quarterback hits, 1 sack, and 4 passes defended last season. So, I mean, look, they're the fourth best defense against the pass, in line 139 for a reason. They got the names out there. But guess what? We got some names over here, too. Let's get ready. I'm not going to say it because you get fined if you say that phrase. Let's get ready to. You can't say it.
You cannot.
And this podcast can't afford it. Can't afford it.
Let's get ready to do Path to Victory.
There you go.
At the 45, waits for the snap. Michael Dixon puts it down. That kick is away. And that kick is good! The Seahawks win! It's good!
It's a path to victory on Hawk Talk.
Man, just keep playing winning football. I think it's really refreshing, even if you're not perfect, to find ways to win games. And that's what the Seahawks did last week. And for me, Bump, it's going to start defensively. Get after Skyler Thompson. And that's not to be disrespectful. That's just he's making his 4th career start. Yep. The Seahawks are at home. He's yet to put up big numbers, so let's not start that on Sunday. I think if you pressure, confuse him early and often, do different things to create turnovers. Seahawks had 3 turnovers against the Broncos. Didn't have any last week. Hoping to get that changed on Sunday.
Yep. Stop that run, man. I know it's going to – the Dolphins have bigger names, I feel like. Stevenson is a baller, but he's like a quiet one. People don't really respect him. You got the bigger names with Mostert and A-Chan over here, but you got to stop the run, man. Get to the football, tackle, do all the necessary things, and defensive line, man. How do you do that? You're aggressive. You get a push. You let the linebackers flow around freely, and you're good to go. Now, offensively, get back to doing whatever he did in the second half against Denver, which is running that rock, man. Ken Walker ended up with $120 on the day, and Geno made some plays through the air. So those are 2 things that they should focus on.
No question about it. I think early in the season, you're still feeling it out. I was listening to Ray on the huddle and just talking about the offensive line. And I think if it was later in the year, you'd be a little bit more panicked. Yeah. But it's 2 weeks. You have all these different guys playing together, new coordinator, new different pieces. So I have faith that they're going to get it back. Hopefully we'll see Ken Walker. We'll have to wait on Sunday for that. If not, full confidence at Charbonnet, and hopefully we get to see Kenny McIntosh get a carry or not to kind of help this thing out.
Come on, Kenny. God dang it. Who I got to talk to? Grubb?
Well, I mean,
I'm going to leave him alone, though. Let Grubb do his thing.
You could ask. I feel like he's kind of got it covered. Like, that's not even to be disrespectful to you. I'm just saying. But no, and also, while we're talking about Grubb, let's keep this production going. I love seeing what we saw from DK and JSN this last week. Let's keep up their production. And then lastly, let's keep Geno clean, man. If you protect him, if he has time to work, it's been obvious what he can do when he's in the pocket, doing his thing. I expect big numbers from Geno. Protect home field, Bump. Thrive off these 12s. Take care of business at home.
3-0, you'll be the only undefeated team in the NFC because everybody else dropping the game this week. Let's go.
Love it. Love the energy, baby. Seahawks taking on the Dolphins from Lumen Field this Sunday. Kickoff is at 1:05. Pregame show will begin at 10 o'clock on Seattle Sports and 710 and on Seahawks Radio Network at 11 a.m. He's Michael Bumpus. I'm Nasser Kyobe. Remember to rate us on Apple Podcasts. You can hear us everywhere, Seahawks.com, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Sirius XM, and more. We're hoping to be talking to you on Monday about a Seahawks victory as they take on the Dolphins on Sunday. Talk to you next week.